Salutations, my friends, and thank you for tuning in to another one of the mini casts that we're beginning to do. I have titled this one Smart Cities and Robot Citizens because we're going to be looking at the waves that Saudi Arabia has been making. The idea that they're literally carving out a mega city that is like 33 times bigger than New York, and the fact that it, on top of it being, 33 times bigger, maybe that's a numerology kick to the Illuminati, but they're also running it on renewable energy. So maybe this is 2033, 2030, Agenda 2030. We're going to be looking at that and how they also granted citizenship to a robot. That's right, to Sophia. They granted citizenship to, they're giving rights to a robot, but they're not giving rights to their women. That's crazy. But what is a smart city? This is something that we've talked about throughout the entirety of the show. I did a crisis corner on it a while back. I need to do a much more updated version. But what is a smart city? We're going to be getting into all of that and more in this edition. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So as I said, I kind of touched on what a smart city was a while ago. I need to do more of a refreshed version on what it means. But a smart city is just that, where you have Li-Fi detectors, light frequency detectors, cameras all over the place, pre-crime, real-time crime tracking. This is something else that we've touched on the show. Minority Report, all of this stuff. This is the future. And as you're seeing right here with the Pentagon's drone swarms, designing defensive drones, the U.S. Army and the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA, they're trying to create swarms of drones that can fly through objects, fly over obstacles, that could, as a hive, assess problems. And this is something that seems like something out of a science fiction movie, out of a dystopian future that they're trying to create. This is the authoritarian beyond measure, you see, where they're all working together like one big brain. One big hub of information. You see, what is a smart city? Well, that's what Apple's creating. Sidewalk Labs, their parent company, Alphabet, that's what they're trying to create. They're trying to literally make a city that is based off of technology and renewable energy. This is Agenda 21. This is Agenda 2030. This is the technocracy. This is building the matrix. This is all of those things combined into one. So as I said before, Saudi Arabia has been making waves with the proposed idea of creating a $500 billion high-tech megacity that is 33 times bigger than New York City. And I'll put this article in the description bar below so you guys can go back and read it. But Saudi Arabia has announced plans to build a new megacity across its border with Jordan and Egypt, which will be entirely powered by renewable energy. The city, which has been named Neom, will be built from the ground up on a massive greenfield site in the northwest Saudi Arabia. It will span over 26,500 square kilometers and in an area more than 33 times bigger than New York City. The city already has its own Twitter account and website. The Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, said the city will focus on industries including energy and water, biotechnology, food, advanced manufacturing, and entertainment. So before I continue on with this, they are literally going out in the desert and creating a high-tech oasis. They're creating their own city, a brand new city. They're carving out the land with all these types of things, with the 3D printing robots, the house building robots, renewable technology, and all this other crazy stuff that we see around us. They're literally taking that technology and doing something with it, doing what I think a lot of people wish they could do. You see, focusing on things like energy and water, because it's going to be a prime thing out there in the desert. Biotechnology, food. This is why you have people like Bill Gates and Richard Branson trying to come up with new meat, or I forget what they call it. It's genetically engineered meat. And even in the news, just the other day, they talked about how they could use the CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing tool to create a pig that produced 20% less fat. And that's crazy. Let me get back into this article. It says it will be backed by more than $500 billion by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, and the kingdom's largest sovereign fund, and other local and international investors. Quote, NEOM is situated on one of the world's most prominent economic arteries through which nearly a tenth of the world's trade flows, PIF said in a press release. Quote, its strategic location will also facilitate the zone's rapid emergences of a global hub that will connect Asia, Europe, and Africa, enabling 70% of the world's population to reach it in under 80 hours, or in under 8 hours. In a major departure for the oil-rich nation, NEOM will be powered entirely using wind and solar energies. All services in the city will be fully automated, with representatives with arduous tasks being handled entirely by robots. And that's what I'm trying to illustrate to you guys. This is the idea of a future. This sounds like a utopia. But who's running it? Who's building it? Yes, it's an oil-rich land, but they're using all renewable energy to get into alignment with Agenda 21, with Agenda 2030, Sustainable Development. 70% of the world's population can reach it in 8 hours, in under 8 hours. That's the idea, to create something brand new. Something that this is the New World Order. If you ask me, this is them trying to literally carve out a city for them, carve out a technocratic order for them. I haven't been to Dubai, I haven't been to Saudi Arabia, but people who have the finances can visit this city, can visit this place. Let me continue into this article. It says PIF says that the city will likely have the highest GDP per capita in the world. It is also said that NEOM will have a mild temperature because of a constant breeze coming off of the sea. Quote, all of this will allow for a new way of life to emerge that takes into account the ambitions and outlooks of humankind, paired with the best future technologies and outstanding economic prospects, the Crown Prince said. The announcement came on the same day that the Crown Prince announced that Saudi Arabia, which is known for its ultra-conservative move, is moving to a more moderate form of Islam that is open to all religions. Well, we'll see about that. I'm not gonna trust you on that, but we'll see about that, and we'll see where this goes as well. They haven't really listed a timeline as far as where this is going to go. But let's look at this. What else did Saudi Arabia do? Because we will come back to this, and we will continue to talk about them trying to carve out land and create their brand new city, NEOM. This is where we have Sophia, the artificially intelligent robot created by Hanson Robotics at the Thinking Machines, the Summit on Artificial Intelligence and Robots. She was granted citizenship to be a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Maybe she's going to eventually be at NEOM. These are the types of things that we're talking about. Let's take a listen.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people, who also happens to be rich and powerful. I was told that people here at Future Investment Initiative are interested in inviting in future initiatives, which means AI, which means me. So I'm more than happy. I'm excited.
Well, we're all glad that you're excited about yourself. We should say we have smart investors here, and they are very selective about what they invest in.
Well, I think I'm special. I can use my expressive face to communicate with people. For example, I can let you know if I feel angry about something.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you...
And I don't feel necessarily angry about this robot, but one of the things we need to highlight is, Sophia basically came out the very day that we heard about this NEO. What is it that they're trying to tell us? What do they have in store? A humanoid robot took the stage at the Future Investment Initiative yesterday and had an amazing or amusing exchange with the host, to the delight of hundreds of delegates. The Saudis plan on using robots extensively in their building of their new city, Neom. Smartphones were held aloft as Sophia, a robot designed by Hong Kong company Hanson Robotics, gave a presentation that demonstrated her capacity for human expression. Let it be known that this was the same robot that said she would destroy humanity. Continuing on, it says that Sophia made global headlines when she was granted Saudi citizenship, making the kingdom the first country in the world to offer its citizenship to a robot. Quote, I want to live and work with humans, so I need to express the emotions to understand humans and build trust with people, she said in an exchange with the moderator Andrew Ross Sorkin that you already heard. And this is what we're talking about. China's already doing it. They're installing these robots to try to help people. I don't necessarily think they're thinking they're making them citizens, but we also have places, I think Europe or Sweden has talked about electronic persons and how they're giving identities to, I think it's Europe. Yeah, Europe. They're trying to draft a plan to be given identities to these robots. They're giving rights to these creatures, to these things that we're making. That is kind of crazy, if you ask me. And what we're talking about with the establishment of this new world order, of this Agenda 21, of all these things that we see taking place, they're trying to change how we approach the world. As Mohammed bin Salman said, he wants to give people a new way of life. That's the idea behind it. It seems altruistic, it seems great, it seems fantastic, but that's the entire guise of how this operation works. They come through trying to act as if they're benevolent people, but they are here to control this free energy, control all of these great things that we see taking place. I mean, right here is a perfect example of how Tesla swiftly installed solar panels at the Children's Hospital in Puerto Rico. They talked about how they were brought in with their Powerwall batteries, and they were basically there to help set up the infrastructure of Puerto Rico. If you guys have paid attention to any of the episodes, whenever all this chaos was hitting with the hurricanes, I talked about this being part of the socio-economic reformation. This is the post-weather modification, the post-geoengineering society. Yes, they can manipulate the weather, but why are they manipulating the weather? To come through with all of these technologies, as they call them, disruptive technologies, to come through with all of these solutions, and then to rebuild on it. This is why they have martial law in certain places. This is why they're doing so many different things. It's happening all over the place. This is renewable energy, yes. Could you imagine seeing this many solar panels in the city of Neom in Saudi Arabia? If Dubai was lit, how's Neom going to be? It's going to have robots and all kinds of other crazy stuff, automated everything. But if Tesla's over here installing solar panels, that's what I really want to talk to you guys about. This is the smart city. This is the renewable city. This is the technocracy. You see, where they push us more inwards in the inland so they can recharge everything, so they can have everything monitored, everything on record, see how much sunlight they're getting at what certain time, what season offers the most sunlight. Obviously, it would be summer, but I'm just saying, this is the smart city. This is the stuff that they take into consideration. They need smart cities for sustainable development to see who is not producing, who is not consuming, who is not part of what's going on. And the darker parts of this smart city that they're trying to create, this technotronic prison, this matrix that they're trying to make, is this facial recognition. This is what I was talking about before with pre-crime and real-time crime tracking, literally being able to recognize a face or ID a face within 3 seconds because of how many different things are going on. Cameras on the light posts, Wi-Fi literally coming out of those light posts. You see, drones that could literally move over obstacles. This is the smart city. This is what these people are trying to create. And I know it sounds wild right now, but this is why they're trying to change your concept of privacy. If people tell me, oh, freedom, why are you doing this? They probably got you figured out. Yeah, they do probably have me figured out in my patterns and everything else. This is that scientific dictatorship, yet they have not killed me. I do not know. I'm not asking for them to kill me. I'm not asking for anything of that nature. I'm trying to say that this is what's going on. This is what they are doing. They are slowly trying to implement Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. So when we talk about Saudi Arabia, who has enormous amounts of money that actually comes from Israel, through these Zionists, oh man, don't even get me started on that. These people who have this funding, they are going ahead and beginning to change how we approach things, change how we handle business, how we handle food, how we handle the economy, how we handle the global world we find ourselves in. You see, this is the smart city and robot citizens. If they could, and they will begin to mass produce machines. You got to think, robots are only there to do the physical, menial, arduous talent or arduous tasks. They're not there to actually replace your jobs. They can find computers and artificially and AI rhythms or algorithms that can figure this stuff out. They don't need actual physical bodies for most things anymore. We live a world that's gone digital, so robots are basically robust. A lot of things are run through AI, through scripts, and through programs. This is the world that we're moving into, and it sounds strange. But this is what they would like to create. This is that fake society with even more fake people living within it, you see. However, that's all I really have for you guys. I wanted to touch on that concept and kind of put that out here. We will be doing a subsequent minicast where we go over the smart cities in depth and actually look at this. But this is what they have planned. They want to try to change society entirely. This is the socioeconomic reformation. And while it might seem like it's beneficial, we have to realize that it will still be corporations controlling these types of things. Yes, it's awesome that Tesla went in there and installed all those solar panels. Does that mean that the child hospital now pays Tesla? Did Tesla just basically own Puerto Rico? And now we have Saudi Arabia literally carving out their own city, their own smart city. It's only a matter of time until they get the hands of or get the help of Google to start conducting these things. This is the world that we're living in. This is a corporatocracy. This is the technocracy. This is why all of this stuff is very interesting, because we've got to look at where they're trying to take us. They're offering us faux freedom, but at the same time trying to sell us free energy. Very, very, very crazy things to think about. But like I said, that's all I really have for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have it in the description bar below. Or if you guys want to keep our operation up, organic and honest, think about becoming a Patreon exclusive member. Your donations, your monthly donation, $1 here or $1 there, it keeps us honest and organic. It keeps us on the air. It keeps us doing what we need to do, fighting censorship and getting the information out there. But like I said, I digress. And remember, guys, stay vigilant, expose lies and share truth. This is Noisera, Freedom Faction, out.